All right, NFL fans, it's the NFL aficionado Fiend here, and we have the Week 8 predictions, getting them out plenty of time before tonight's game. So this is Bob-mageddon week for all you people out there. There are a total of 6 teams on bias: Detroit, Las Vegas, the Rams, Arizona, Seattle, and Jacksonville all have buys this week. So there's only one Monday night game. Thank the Lord. We ain't got to do that two mess nonsense where we have to stay up till after midnight to see the game. Uh, and there's actually a decent Sunday night game as well this week with the Packers at the Steelers. So, anyways, let's get rocking and rolling, and let's talk about tonight's game, kicking off at 7:15 Central Standard Time on Amazon Prime. So you have Minnesota traveling to play the Chargers. Chargers are favored in this game. Minnesota's getting 3.5 points. Looked at it hard. I went back and forth with this one. J.J. McCarthy's still out, but I think the offense is playing as good with Carson Wentz at the quarterback position as it would with McCarthy. Alex Jones is supposed to be activated for tonight's game, so first time we'll see him in a bit. See how that affects, see if that helps boost the offense a little bit. Jordan Mason's been doing pretty well in his absence, so we'll have to see how it goes. And the Chargers are banged up all across the deal, but Justin Herbert keeps putting them on his back. So all that being said, I'm actually going to take Minnesota in an upset in this game to beat the Chargers and get back on a win on the W side of the column. So I'm picking Minnesota to upset the Chargers this week to kick the game off. So we'll see if we can repeat last week's performance that I did with my amazing pick. So moving on to the next game, we have Miami going to travel to Atlanta and play Atlanta. Miami getting 7.5 points in this game. Atlanta has been wildly inconsistent what they are this season. So I am going to pick Atlanta to win this game. The Dolphins are a mess right now. Tua, Mike McDaniel, they seem to be in complete disarray for what they are. So I think Atlanta favors on that aspect. But because Atlanta has been so wildly inconsistent, I'm actually going to say if you're going to bet the game, bet the points in Miami. If you're betting points, bet Miami, but a straight up winner will be Atlanta. So so Atlanta wins, but take Miami in the points if you're betting the points. Moving on to the next game, we have the Jets going to play the Bengals. I'm sorry, I'm gonna start calling them Bengals after that amazing performance Joe Flacco put on last Thursday with Jamar Chase. Jets getting 6.5 points in this game. I'm a little nervous about this right now, but the Jets have been an absolute disaster. There's heavily leaning towards Tyrod Taylor being the starter. Breece Hall may not play. Garrett Wilson's out, so they just really have nothing going on the Jets side of the deal, and that defense is no longer scary. I even think Sauce Gardner has some issues going on that may or may not affect him. But yeah, so even though the Jets are getting 6.5, I'm going to take the Bengals to win straight up, and I'm going to take the Bengals to cover the 6.5 points because I just don't think that offense is going to be very good. Yeah, Sauce Gardner did not practice. Breece Hall limited in practice. Like I said, they're leaning towards starting Tyrod Taylor. Garrett Wilson didn't practice, so the Jets are a complete mess right now. Wouldn't be surprised if they start trading off parts for draft picks and restock and reload to draft a quarterback because they don't have one right now. Fields has proven he's not the guy, never going to be that guy. And we all know Tyrod Taylor has been around for forever and a day. So, anyways, taking the Bengals and say the Bengals cover the 6.5 points that the Jets are getting. Moving on to the next game, we have the Cleveland Browns. After that, coming off that butt whooping they gave to Miami last week, going to New England to play the Patriots. Browns getting 7.5 points in this game. I'm a little nervous about that, but the Patriots are on a winning streak right now, and they've been whipping the lower tier teams. So I'm going to take the Patriots. As much as this kills me, I'm going to take the Patriots, and I picked them to cover the 7.5 points that the Browns are getting. So Pats win, and they cover the spread. Moving on to the next game, we've got the Giants for the rematch going to the Eagles this time, playing in Philadelphia. Giants getting 7.5 points this game. I still am going to pick the Eagles to win this game. I think they're the better team. I think the game they lost on Thursday night, 34-17, was kind of fluky. But I think the Eagles have kind of righted the ship. But I don't believe in the Eagles enough to cover the point spread. I think I think that 7.5 points is too much. So I'm picking so Eagles win straight up. The Giants, if you're going to take the Giants and the points if you're betting points. So there you go. Next game, my beloved Buffalo Bills are going to travel to Carolina and play Carolina. Carolina's currently getting 7.5, which I have no idea why. Carolina's got a good run game, which is what the Bills don't have, and the Bills are still the walking wounded. Daquan Jones, a limited participant. Josh Palmer not practicing. I'm really worried about this game between Hubbard and Rico Dowd. Just 50 carries for them. And then two, Andy Dalton, old gunslinger. So he knows how to play. He knows how to get wins. He's a long-time starter in the league. So if I had my preference, I would prefer to actually play Bryce Young. But old Andy Dalton's going to come in the game for us. So we'll have to see how it goes. So I'm going to pick the Bills to win, but I do not pick them to cover the points. Because they're just in shambles right now. Hopefully they play better out of the bye week. We are getting some players back. Maxwell Harrison's starting, or he's practicing. I'm sorry, he's not going to start, but he's practicing. So again, my whole belief has been the defense has not really been whole. And another added bonus is Taylor Rapp is not practicing, which I hope that means they're going to give Jordan Hancock a shot at free safety and allow Cole Bishop to stay in that strong safety role. Jordan Hancock, I think should have been playing since the start of the season. I don't know why he's been inactive, little injuries here and there, but Rapp has been absolute just unplayable this season. So maybe it has to do with his knee injury they said he's been having since preseason, but whatever. So anyways, Bills win, but they don't cover the spread. Take the Panthers in the points. That 7.5 is really big. Next, moving on to the Bears. They're going to travel to Baltimore. Lamar Jackson may or may not play. We're still looking into that. Regardless of who plays at quarterback, though, I'm actually going to take the Bears to win. They're getting 6.5 points, but I'm going to pick them to upset the Ravens. I think the Bears are starting to gel a little bit. They're starting to figure things out, and I just believe the Ravens are a complete disaster this season. So I think it's going to be a feel-good story, but I think the Bears just overall have more talent on their team right now at this current point. Not talking about preseason, what everybody thought, S-Bob teams were beforehand. So Bears in an upset on this one. So that is my second upset pick this week. Moving on, we have the 49ers traveling to Texas to play the Texans. This one the Texans are getting 2.5 points. That actually went up a point from yesterday when I looked at it. I want to take the Texans in this one because that defense is so good, but the Niners just continue to stack wins. So hey, I'm gonna become a believer in the 49ers until they prove me different. It's the regular season, so hey, Kyle Shanahan works magic in the regular season. His problems don't show up till usually the Super Bowl. Amazing as that is. But I'm gonna pick the Niners to win this game straight up. And I picked the Niners to cover the 2.5 point spread that the Texans are getting right now. Next game I have is we have Tampa Bay traveling to New Orleans to play the Saints. Saints are getting 4.5 points in this game. Tampa Bay, they lost a heartbreaker to Detroit, but I think it was come due. They've been on an amazing streak of just last second wins. At some point, the bill comes due. They took another hit again with injuries. When Mike Evans went out, broken collarbone, he's out. Probably for the rest of the year. May come back sooner, but I just terrible last year for what seems to be what is a Hall of Fame career. His 1,000-yard streak is in jeopardy now, or it's over basically. 11 straight seasons of 1,000 yards. Unbelievable way to start the career. So, anyways, but I'm going to pick Tampa Bay to win this game, but I'm going to say, hey, if you're betting points, take the Saints in the 4.5. I think the Saints are starting to put things together. I think they're starting to roll. A couple bad breaks last week, but they're playing better. They're playing more together. and Tampa Bay is just injured right now on offense. They just don't have anybody. Bucky Irvin's probably not going to play. Chris Godwin out. Amuka's going to play. That rookie Johnson, they've got some pieces, but it's not what we saw early in the season. And I can't wait to see that team back to full strength if it ever happens this season. So Tampa Bay wins outright, but take the Saints in the points if you're betting the points. Next, we move to Dallas, going to travel to Denver. Dallas getting 3.5 in this game. Here's another one I was really torn about because Denver has, as great as their defense is, their offense has been terrible this year. They had to score 33 points, had a miracle comeback to win against the Giants last week. So I really want to pick Dallas in this game. But but I think that what happened last week kind of buoys the Denver to start believing themselves and start playing better. So I'm going to say Denver wins straight up, but betting points because the Cowboys are getting 3.5. I'm going to say bet the Cowboys with the points because to me, if you're not going to shut down that Cowboys offense, they're going to put points on the board. Pickens, Lamb, Ferguson. They have a trio that makes it very difficult to cover. And Patrick Surtain can only take out one of the three. So I think Dallas is really going to put some pressure on them. But I see it as like a last-second field goal or something like last team to have the ball wins is what I see happening in this game. And hopefully it's Denver they kick the field goal. So Denver wins outright, but take Dallas in the 3.5 points. Next we have the Colts. They've got Tennessee coming to town. Colts are an absolute juggernaut right now. They're rolling. Jonathan Taylor's rolling. Daniel Jones is playing great ball. The defense is doing solid. And I looked at the Tennessee injury report, and a lot of their best players are injured. Justin Simmons out, things like that. I think Tennessee is just becoming a dumpster fire. Same thing. They're almost in the same league as the Jets. They just managed to pull off a crazy win, so that's why they're not 0-7. They've got a win on their belt. But I'm nervous about the Colts getting favored by 14.5. I'm really nervous about that. But because the Colts have been rolling, it's at home. Everybody's reasonably healthy with the Colts. I'm going to say the Colts not only wins outright, but I say they're going to cover the spread. I think they're going to beat the brakes off Tennessee, unless by some chance they get up by 30 in the first half and then they just coast through the second half and allow Tennessee to score a couple garbage time points. 14.5 is really scary because it's that half point. You can win by 14 and lose, and that half point will get you. But I'm going to roll with the Colts and say, hey, man, I'm starting to become a believer in those guys. So Colts win and cover the spread. Next, we have Green Bay traveling to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh getting 2.5 points this game. That's up from a point from yesterday when I looked at it. Guys, I don't believe in Pittsburgh at all. I don't believe in Aaron Rodgers. I think he's going to, they're going to get some wins and stuff like that. But when they come up against quality opponents, I'm sorry. I think Aaron Rodgers is a below-average starter in the NFL now. That's just what he is. He's been that way for 5 years now. He can beat the tomato cans, but when you put him in a game with an above-average team, you're going to see the real Aaron Rodgers. So I know they scored 31 points last night or last Thursday on the Bengals, but that's the Bengals. They got no defense and they couldn't stop anybody. And now you got Jordan Love coming with Josh Jacobs coming. So now you got a real running back, not Chase Brown coming to town with Josh Jacobs. So because it's only 2.5 points, I'm going to pick Green Bay to win straight up and cover the point spread. Next, we have KC that will host Washington. Jaden Daniels is out for this game, so that's a huge swing on points. But KC is starting to roll. To me, right now in the AFC, it's KC and then the Colts. Everybody else is playing for third place. I don't see another team in that division who can hold a candle to those two teams right now. I know KC is 4-3. But basically, they weathered the storm. Rashid Rice is back. Their offensive pieces are together. So now they have the weapons to make you respect the passing game enough to allow Pacheco and Hunt to get things in there. They're mixing the rookie Rashad Smith in there. So I think Mahomes is beginning to roll. That offense is beginning to roll. That allows that defense to kind of play at a different pace because they're Spagnuolo is great at blitzing and things like that, protecting the lead. It gives them confidence to go after your quarterback. So Washington getting 12.5 points in this game, but I think KC wins, and I think KC stomps them on Sunday night and kind of makes the announcement of, hey guys, we may be 4-3, 5-3 in this game, but we back, we coming, and the Arrowhead Invitational is serious consideration to be on because Buffalo, started out 4-0, lost 2, and again, the only team I see that I don't see the Colts rolling like this all season. So, but basically, I definitely, those are the two best teams. So anyway, back to the game. KC wins. They cover the 12.5 points. I think they stomp Washington out of the building on Monday night. The Sunday night game is Green Bay and Pittsburgh. The Monday night game is Washington going to play KC. I think it's primetime game. Mahomes, everybody, they're going to put on a show, and they're going to beat the brakes off of Washington and cover the 12.5 points. So, anyways, there's where we have it this week, guys. Minnesota beats the Chargers. Atlanta beats Miami. Bengals beat the Jets. Pats beat the Browns. Eagles beat the Giants. Bills beat the Panthers. Bears beat the Ravens. Niners beat the Texans. Tampa Bay beats the Saints. Dallas loses to Denver. Tennessee loses to the Colts. Green Bay beats Pittsburgh. And then Washington loses to Kansas City. 6 teams on bye again. Detroit, Vegas, Rams, Arizona, Seattle, Jacksonville. So 2 upsets this week. Pick 2 upsets this week. Minnesota over the Chargers. And then the Bears over the Ravens. None of the other teams really grabbed me. I did say, hey, take Miami in the points. Take the Giants in the points. Take the Panthers in the points. Take the Saints in the points. Take Dallas in the points. And you should have a pretty good weekend. So, like I said, last week I went 13-2 straight up picks, 10-5 with the points. So I like to replicate that success. I might have found my rhythm last week and found my deal and started to ground and figure out the point situation with the deal. Never really been a big better with the points, but like I said, we're doing predictions, so I like to cover both bases depending on what you feel and how you feel about the game. So let me know if you agree with the picks. Let me know if there's somebody that you think I totally whiffed on, or let me know if there's somebody, hey man, I think you're right on the winner, but I would take the points with the points they're getting. And remember, I'm doing this at Thursday at 5 o'clock right now, so if the point spread changes, I don't count that. I go on what I call the game at when the points are deal. A little hard sometimes because we're still 2-3 days out from actually knowing who's playing, who's not playing in some of these other bigger games. So, all right, guys, the Fiend's out. As always, we'll do a recap video on Tuesday to cover how we did and then see how you guys did in your deal. And hopefully you're banking and buying mama a Gucci pair of shoes at the end of the day, and not having to go to payday loans to pay your rent, car payment, cell phone, whatever it is. So anyways, the Fiend is out. Look forward to talking to you later. Bye.